Sorry, I don't know what happened there, but he went to Kansas State. 5 touchdowns, or no, 5 seasons there. He's a very experienced college quarterback. I just think he's spending I don't want him to be spending his future on the wrong team. Like, as if Tua turns out, has a good turnout this year and is a great quarterback, the Dolphins are sticking with him. You know, like, they're not going to adjust to Skylar Thompson, but I think Skylar Thompson has value on other teams. He may be a valuable trade option, but, you know, like I said, Teddy Bridgewater, backup quarterback, easy. Like I said, he's a valuable backup quarterback. He's adjusted to that, but Skylar Thompson, I think, he seems to be starting quarterback material. And he's not going to get that with Tua in front of him. So, the biggest NBA news has pretty much been, you know, since Kevin Durant, that whole thing was resolved. Donovan Mitchell possibly being traded to the Knicks. Now, this, I think I've already said, he fits there. They can build around him. I don't think he's really a superstar. I'll say he's a star. I just don't think he's a franchise culture-changing guy. I think he's a great player. You know, he's not like a Luka Doncic or he's not a Luka Doncic, or you can even say Jason Tatum, although I do think Jason Tatum has a much better supporting cast around him than Luka Doncic does. But, you know, he's not a Nikola Jokic or a Luka Doncic, or a culture-changing guy. I don't think he's really any of those guys, but he is a great player. You know, and I think a lot of people did, the trade fell apart because, you know, when it came to, you guys had to trade R.J. Barrett. That was not the case. It seems like the talks never really stopped, but I don't know. I think the Jazz are just looking to clean the house, you know, just rebuild, but I don't know why, it just doesn't seem like teams are entirely all in on Donovan Mitchell. Alright, so I haven't talked a lot of baseball, but last night Aaron Judge hit his 51st home run. He leads in runs scored, RBIs, and has a huge lead in the AL in homers. He has 51 homers, and the next closest in the AL has 31 homers, Yordan Alvarez. I don't think there's any question that he should win MVP. Also, he has 104 runs scored. The second closest is Alex Bregman with 80. He's a big lead in home runs and runs scored. And he has a .297 batting average. I think Ohtani is great. It's just, I feel like I've always preached most valuable when it comes to MVP. And yes, Ohtani is very valuable to the Angels, but their value has to help the team win. I think of the guys I've said for most valuable player. I think it was 2 years ago when I said Chris Paul as the most valuable player. Because he took a Suns team that didn't make the playoffs before to the finals and the 1 seed. That's why I had him at most valuable player because he made a bad team great. That's what most valuable does. Ohtani doesn't really change anything with the Angels. You take him off of them, they're a bad team. You put him with them, they're still a bad team. Doesn't change much. I think if you take Judge off the Yankees, maybe they're a playoff contender. I don't think they're a second place team or a first place team in their division. I don't think they're better than the Rays. I don't think they're better than the Rays if Judge is not on this team. That's why Rodgers makes the Packers. You take Rodgers off the Packers, they're not a very good team. But he brought them to 13 wins the last 2 years, and that's why he's the MVP, I think. And I gotta tell you, if the Packers make the second round this year, I would give Rodgers a pretty good case for MVP. If the Broncos make the playoffs and make a decent run at it, I think it's Wilson's to lose. But I think Rodgers has a case if he brings a team with 2 aging receivers and 2 unproven rookies to the second round of the playoffs. There's huge value in that. Shows that Davante Adams wasn't the only reason he succeeded. But yeah, I think Judge is the MVP this year. He's the most valuable. And he has the best stats. Like I said, take Judge off the Yankees, man. They are not as good as they are right now. Okay. So, Kyle Shanahan said that there's no way having Jimmy G back is bad. And technically he's right. It's not bad for the team at all, because if Lance is struggling, if he plays poorly, especially early, when they start, because they start off easy, actually. If he's still playing poorly against the easier teams, then I think starting Garoppolo would really help. It's just, this is a lot of pressure for a guy that hasn't played much football in 3 years. He's got to prove. It would be better if he didn't have Jimmy G breathing down his neck. But it's just more pressure on him. I don't think it really helps, but I mean, they start the year off Bears, Seahawks, Broncos, Rams, Panthers, Falcons. So if they can go 4-2 in those games, in those first 6 games, I like Trey Lance. If they can beat the Bears, Seahawks, Panthers, and Falcons, they're good. Because I don't think at Denver is going to be very good, or against the Rams. I don't think they really have. I mean, they can win that, but I think if they go at least 4-2 in those first 6 games, I don't think that's a lot to ask. I think that's pretty damn good. After that, it gets pretty rough. They go into the Chiefs, Rams, Chargers, Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, Buccaneers. Get a break with the Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, and Cardinals. So, with the exception of the Seahawks and Commanders, they finished the year off week 7 through 17 with pretty much all playoff contending teams. Chiefs are a playoff contender. Rams are a Super Bowl contender. Chargers are somewhere in between those two. Cardinals are somewhere in between the playoff and Super Bowl contender. Saints are a playoff contender. Dolphins are a playoff contender. Bucks are somewhere in between. Raiders are somewhere in between. Cardinals are a playoff contender. Somewhere in between, actually. But the Commanders and Seahawks, those are 2 other wins. That's a tough stretch Lance has his work cut out for him. Okay, so apparently there has been, I think I already talked about this, there's a cutoff in Lamar Jackson's negotiations. As I've said, it's the Watson effect. When the Browns pay a man who is on trial that fully guaranteed money, what do you think the other players are going to look for? Like, Lamar Jackson does deserve more than Deshaun Watson. By a lot. But I think as I've said, the Browns shouldn't be the ones setting the standards. I mean, they have 2 playoff appearances in the last 20 years. I mean, I don't... Alright, so I'm gonna finish the show off with this. I have 3 hot takes for the NFL this year. 1, I'm gonna give the Vikings the win to the NFC North. It kills me, but I do think they take the NFC North. I think they are a better roster. They got Thielen, Jefferson, Cook, Kirk Cousins is a pretty good quarterback. They got Darius Smith. I think they're well set. Right. I believe Desmond Ridder will take over as a starting quarterback in Atlanta by week 8. I believe Ridder is the starter there. How long are they just going to say, well, we're going to start Mariota? It's like the Steelers with Trubisky. And I like Mariota. It's just... Why would you do that when you have a rookie sitting back there who can prove himself? Especially in Atlanta when you're rebuilding. Just start the rookie, man. So by week 8, I believe Ridder is a starter there. And my third and final is that I don't even know if this is a hot take. I'm just predicting Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year. I guess I could just consider it a hot take because he has a lot of competition. TJ Watt and Aaron Donald are the main ones, but I think he's got a lot of competition for it, but I think he'll pull it off. All right. Still Miller on Daniel Stone, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daniel Stone. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.